Welcome to this edition of ARTV News. I'm Tony Beauvais. In today's show, ARTV News, the Makers and Shakers Market, the Easter Model Train Show, the Turkish Pazar Festival, French Impressionism at NGV, stories of Melbourne's river, Younghusband Rose Street Market, and ARTV magazine. Yayoi Kusama is one of the world's most celebrated living artists who explores a unique worldview, starting with artwork created during her childhood and culminating with works made this year. In between, Kusama's extraordinary career is surveyed from her experimental years in post-war Japan to her contributions in New York's avant-garde scene in the 1960s, through to her return to Japan in 1973 and subsequent re-emergence as an artist of international recognition. Comprising close to 200 works, this is the largest exhibition of Kusama's work presented in Australia and one of the most comprehensive retrospectives of the artist ever presented globally. Featuring painting, sculpture, collage, fashion, film and installation, the exhibition reveals the astonishing breadth of Kusama's multidisciplinary practice. Yayoi Kusama is an immersive exhibition on now at the NGV until April the 21st. See the website for details. The lights of Melbourne shine a little bit brighter with the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, which finishes this month. The festival has something for every comedy lover with world-class special events, trailblazing solo shows and loads of late-night fun. Come celebrate the fun, the fearless, the rebellious and the ridiculous at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. This is the best time of the year to be in Melbourne. There are endless forms of comedy to enjoy and the city is teeming with funny, interesting people from all over the world. The Comedy Festival finishes on the 20th of April, so be sure to check out the website for further details. Sleep amongst the dinosaurs for a once-in-a-lifetime prehistoric adventure and explore the museum after dark in this unique overnight experience at Melbourne Museum, home of the dinosaurs. You'll enjoy the Minecraft movie 3D up close on the giant screen at IMAX, experience an exclusive campfire stories experience about the creatures from the natural world in the dynamic Earth, take your very own dinosaur walk tour and Triceratops Fate of the Dinosaurs torchlight tour before settling in for some sleep, if you dare, amongst the dinosaurs. You will awake to a delicious breakfast and an early morning baby Triceratops meet and greet before heading off to spend the day exploring the museum. See the website for a full list of all the excitement and activities included in this once-in-a-lifetime experience, which opens on the 11th of April. Discover the power and potential of futures we're shaping now at Melbourne's latest must-see exhibition. The Future and Other Fictions showcases the people, costumes and artworks imagining bright and bold futures through film, video games, contemporary art, interactives and much more. Step into the minds of 19 creative visionaries from around the globe through more than 180 works and experience how future worlds are dreamed up and created on screen. See detailed costumes from Marvel Studios' Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, explore intricate sets, props and concept art from Cyberpunk 2077, Blade Runner 2049 and The Creator. The futures we imagine are the futures we will live in. This world premiere exhibition is exclusive to ACME and Melbourne. See the website for further details.
Let's step into the world where craftsmanship, style, sustainable comes alive. A world where every corner tells a story and every product has a pulse. This is the Makers and Shakers Market, a place where creativity is not just celebrated, it's alive. Imagine yourself standing in the Grand Royal Exhibition Building, the heartbeat of Melbourne's culture, surrounded by 175 of city's most talented artisans. This is not just a market, it's an experience that you will never forget. At the heart of this market are the makers, painter, sculptor, jeweler, and the visionaries who pour their soul into every piece they create. They are the ones who turn blank canvases into masterpieces and raw materials into treasures. But they are not alone. The Shakers are there too, the curators, the storytellers, and the community builders who bring these creations to life. Together, they are redefining what it means to be an artist in today's world. Feel the textures of handcrafted leather goods that speaks to your senses. Discover the perfect handmade candle that fills your home with warmth. Try on a piece of sustainable fashions that's not just a statement, but a story of conscious design. And as you wander, you will meet the makers, the creative minds behind the magics. This market is not just about buying and selling. It's about what you can feel. It's a space where artists and art lovers come together to celebrate individuality and creativity. We are in a world that often feels fast and impersonal. Yet the makers and shakers market remind us to slow down, to appreciate, and to create. So, what are you waiting for? Let's step into the world of makers and shakers market, where craft, culture, and creativity comes together.
Nestled in the heart of Kensington, Melbourne, the Younghusband Rose Street Market is a dynamic new destination celebrating creativity, craftsmanship, and communities. Housed within the iconic Younghusband Rose Store, a heritage-lit industrial building with over a century of history, the market breathes new life into its industrial space, now transformed into a thriving control precinct. On the third Saturday of each month, the space comes alive with the sights and sound of the local makers and artisans. Curated in collaboration with the renowned Rose Street Artist Market, this event brings together some of Melbourne's most talented creatives. Visitors can explore a variety of handcrafted goods, original artwork, ceramic, fashion, jewelry, homeware, and for the culinary curious, pantry items, small patch sprayers, and gourmet treats await. Beyond this store, the market offers live music, food trucks, and family-friendly entertainment, creating a vibrant, welcome atmosphere for locals and visitors alike. Set against rustic brick walls, timber beams, and wide open warehouse spaces, the market delivers an experience that is as visually inspiring as it is engaging. Whether you're here to discover emerging artists, shop sustainability, or simply enjoy a creative day out, Younghusband Rose Street Market is where Melbourne past and present meet through art, design, and local spirit.
Get ready to experience the traditions, the rich culture, and the flavor of Turkey as the Turkish Pazar Festival 2025 is coming back to Melbourne. Taking over the Queen Victoria Market, this free festival will transport you straight to the bustling street of Turkey with a weekend full of delicious food, live entertainment, and cultural experiences. Indulge in authentic delights such as sizzling kebabs, crispy simit, and sweet lokma, alongside a variety of vegan and vegetarian-friendly Turkish treats. But the festival isn't just about food. There will be live music and folk dance, performances, fun activities for kids, and even traditional art demonstrations like Ebru, the Turkish paper marbling, and calligraphy, giving you a true taste of Turkish culture. One of the main highlights is the Australian Turkish Ottoman metal band, performing powerful and historic military music that's sure to impress. This year's festival welcomes people of all backgrounds to join in the festivities and discover the warmth of Turkish hospitality. After the huge success of last year's event, which honored the 100th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey, the 2025 edition promises to be even bigger, bringing together food lovers, culture enthusiasts, and families for an unforgettable weekend. Don't miss this chance to experience the sights, sounds, and flavors of Turkey right in the heart of Melbourne. Visit the Moreland Turkish Association website for more details.
Have you ever dreamed of stepping right into a painting? This winter, you can just do that at the NGV Dancing exhibition, the French Impressionism, a part of Melbourne Winter Masterpieces 2025. Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant world of Monique, Renoir, Degas, and more, brought together in Melbourne for this exclusive showcase. Featuring over 100 iconic paintings borrowed from Boston's renowned Museum of Fine Arts, the exhibition lets you explore the daring world of Impressionist and Post-Impressionist masters. divided into 10 thematic sections. Each gallery space brings you face to face with revolutionary artworks characterized by vivid colors, lively brushstrokes, and unconventional viewpoints. At your journey through the exhibition, you will experience recreate atmospheres, from Parisian boulevards and lush gardens to coastal scenes, all captured through the artist's innovative eyes. What makes this experience truly special are the personal touches throughout. Intimate quotes from the artists themselves, drawn from their letters, journals, and reflections, provide an emotional connection as if Mokit and his contemporaries are personally guiding you through their creative worlds. Don't miss your chance to witness this extraordinary celebration of color, light, and innovation. French Impressionism opens at NGV International from early June through October. Tickets are on sale now. Visit NGV official website and step into the brilliance of Impressionism today.
Melbourne's old Treasury building is currently showcasing a remarkable exhibition titled Yarra, The Stories of Melbourne's River, inviting audiences to explore the rich, complex, and often untold history of the river we now call the Yarra. This free exhibition delves into the river's deep cultural and spiritual significance for First Nations people, highlighting how it sustained communities for tens of thousands of years before colonization drastically altered the landscape. Through a striking display of historical artifacts, rare documents, photographs, and verbal narratives, visitors are taken on a journey through Melbourne's development, from gold rush chaos and heavy industry to pollution, floods, and environmental revival. Yarra, The Stories of Melbourne's River, doesn't just look at the past. It asks big questions about the present and future. As the effects of climate change intensify and Melbourne continues to grow, the exhibition encourages us to consider our responsibility to the river and to each other. It also explores how the Yarra has been a site of both connection and contrast, between people and nature, progress and preservation, and those with power and those fighting to be heard. With an eye toward reconciliation, environmental justice, and sustainable city living, this is more than just a history lesson. It's a call to care for one of our most vital and symbolic natural landmarks. Whether you're a lifelong Melburnian or a visitor wanting to understand the heart of the city, Yarra, The Stories of Melbourne's River is not to be missed. Visit their website for more details.
Get ready to enter a world of miniature marvels at the Easter Model Train Show 2025, taking place on April 19th and 20th at the Community Bank Stadium in Diamond Creek. This two-day extravaganza will feature immersive model train layouts, hands-on exhibits, and special LEGO display. Experience the magic of tiny trains as experts builders showcase their masterpieces. The show will also feature unique traders' stalls where you can shop for everything train-related and family-friendly activities that will keep everyone entertained. This event is perfect for all ages, whether you're a lifelong train enthusiast or new to the hobby. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of model trains with interactive displays, live demonstrations, and a fun atmosphere for all. Mark your calendars and bring the whole family out for a weekend of creativity, craftsmanship, and fun. For more details, visit the Easter Model Train Show website.
Jeffrey, can I turn to you? How can public art change the environment in which it sits? And here I'm thinking quite broadly. So, one is like, can public art extend the experience of the gallery, or is it completely sort of different? Can public art demystify contemporary art, which a lot of people are quite often like, oh, it's not my bag, and also this idea of, can it create meeting places and safe spaces? Like, how can it do all those things?
There's a little bit of a difference between art in the public realm, monument at Docklands, hotel, forward surge is responded, because it's sort of, they're all in your space, as we've said. But even more egalitarian is the experience of, in a way, big sculpture throughout the city of St Kilda, or this coastal stretch of it, or a sculpture park like Point Leo that I'm involved with, or any sculpture park, Heidi, McClelland Gallery, or a big regular exhibition like Sculpture by the Sea at either Bondi or Cottesloe in Perth, or at Lorne, smaller version of it, terrific version of it, where they're just on coastal areas in parks and landscapes. There's no expectation that visitors will understand, or in a way discuss the works or spend life. It's part of this stroll, and it's egalitarian, it's relaxing. You feel you can hate this work and love that work, and no one is going to, the text, the all problematic, I totally agree, everything, the interpretation of works is very problematic in big museums and small museums. Of course, as we know, classically, 220 words is the maximum for any didactic label. That should be the ideal maximum. And yet to kind of succinctly say what a Yayoi Kusama pumpkin is about in 220 words is fairly difficult, but you have to do it. The thing is to get the artist to write the statement. Now, some artists will write, and there are some in this room who have written brilliant statements, succinctly, objectively about their own works, but in my time, there's about 30% of artists who will, you will say, there's one particular artist in Sydney whose name is Michael, and I won't go any further, a fantastic artist, and you say, Michael, could you send me an artist's statement about these very large works? And it comes back, it's welded and it's steel. And you think, Michael, anything else? Yes, it's blue. You know, and I think, could you say something? So it's exasperating. So the texts are difficult, but you don't have to take any, if you're on this walk, you have the opportunity of the QR code and hearing a little more of the sculptors, the artists, the creators' voice, if you wish or not. And I think in sculpture parks, you're walking around, be it Lorne, be it Heidi, be it McClelland, be it Point Leo, you're walking around, you're having a really good time, and yet there is this fusion, Point Leo perhaps, of landscaping, elegant, I'm not complimenting myself, I've had nothing to do with the landscaping, and the natural realm. Western Port Bay, mind you, you can put anything in front of a vista, great panoramic vista of Western Port Bay, and it's going to look sculpturally pretty good, you know, because it's this great vista and panorama, and then the creativity and the artist's statement. But again, you look at visitors and they're walking around, they're there to have a good time and to enjoy themselves, and indeed art in the public realm needs to have a sense of it is generating joy, it is generating discussion, it is generating pleasure. It might be arising from a narrative where there is some grief and some serious dialogue, but it still has to be something you really wish to look at and walk around and talk about. So I think that there's a slight difference between an exhibition and a kind of the park or the garden, where there's in a way no expectation, no responsibility of the viewer to take anything seriously or very seriously or not seriously, and yet I think they are the moments when there is the maximum and most important engagement.
So in the early 2000s you made those monument works, and the one that I always think of is quite iconic is the screen, the drive-in movie screen. And you've translated that into the really enormous work, Silver Screen at Monash, which is quite interesting because it's wedged between these two buildings. So the kind of engagement we have with that screen is very, very different to the smaller kind of, screen on the plinth. So I'm just wondering, when you were commissioned to make that work, or when you take a work that you have made previously, say on a smaller scale, and you blow it up to that scale, and the site is quite different. Do you think differently, and do the ideas shift for the work? Particularly the silver screen work.
Yeah, it did. I mean, You know, the screenworks are really based on drive-in cinema screens in particular, and I was always fascinated by them as a piece of sort of spectacle culture that has disappeared but somehow persists. Like so much, shops and so on. You know, there's lots of things that do that. And I've always seen them as a kind of piece of sculpture, a bit like the hotel, sitting in the kind of landscape, and often going down to Mornington Peninsula and Dramana Drive-In. And so it was those sculptures were based on specific things at kind of scale. And the smaller ones became sort of object paintings, if you like, that I could project all sorts of ideas onto. And so it just became, and it often happens with my work, that I just kind of run with a kind of form for a long time because it expresses or gives me the capacity to express all these things. That work, Max Delaney, who was then the director of Monash University Museum of Art, before I was there, actually, I will say, just actually directly wrote to me and said because they were building a new gallery that Kirsten Thompson architects were doing, and there was this space where they needed a screen, and because I'd done the screens, could I come up with something? So I kind of fashioned, but they also wanted something specific. They wanted it to hold signage potentially for the museum. It had all these kind of particular conditions attached to it, which I really liked. So yes, it was that screen, but I kind of designed a screen based on those forms. It is kind of over-designed. So it's quite sort of Baroque in a way, it's geometry. And it's kind of almost like I was thinking about it as, was this a screen that was left there and all these buildings were built around it over time? Or was it something it kind of inserted there? So I wanted it to kind of be like that. But I also liked the idea that it became a kind of armature for hanging signage. Students use it to do works in, flocks of starlings live in it when there are sort of predators, raptors in the sky. So it takes on, and I had very specific sources, Cedric Price and Fun Palace and stuff that I was particularly interested in at the time. So it kind of, it was a form that I was interested in, but I kind of fashioned it very specifically for that space. It actually does curl into that space a bit, or it mirrors into that space if you look at it sort of closely. It had to allow fire trucks to get through. Monash Caulfield has a sort of central courtyard, but you can't really see it, and has all these kind of little sort of narrow passageways into it, a bit like Venice, sort of opens up into a sort of piazza. So it kind of marked one of those as well as a kind of, it's quite a sort of alienating space on Dandenong Road. So it kind of treated that a bit. So it was sort of a piece of architecture. It does provide screening to that building, in the afternoon. Has a really beautiful shadow play, and there's all these kind of incidental things. So it was public art sits somewhere between my head, between particularly what I do it between, design and art. Like I try to kind of keep those things as close as possible and preserve the art bit, if you like. But you do have very kind of strict parameters that you have to kind of negotiate, particularly if it's permanent. And it does that material resolution kind of reduces, and usability and safety and all those things, that you're not sort of limited in when you're doing works in a gallery. So it's not free, it has kind of limits attached to it. And that's very much like the design process and architecture. And in MAP we have architects there simply because it's actually, at this scale, it's construction. So you need permits, you need engineering, you need all this kind of complex sort of collaborative, process around projects. So,
Erin, can we throw to you?
I do like forms of rebellion, but I will say that if there's inherent violence behind the gesture and the aggression in the way in which it's done, that does disturb me a little bit. Even simple things like we had all those bicycles that a lot of people weren't happy with, and people were just throwing them off the pier into the ocean or throwing them into the river. To me, that becomes destructive and aggressive, and I'm not really sure that it's solving any problem. It's someone just having a a very big ego moment. So I actually, the role of the monument, I think all monuments have to be regularly challenged because they, in my opinion, if they're a monument, they represent a particular power base or a political structure at a time. So I think they have to be regularly challenged. Do we cut them down and do a big, defiant, aggressive gesture? Maybe that's not the way we might do it. Maybe, as we say, we keep it and we change the label, or maybe we put something next to it. But yeah, I think monuments need to be regularly reviewed. How we do it, maybe we can find kinder ways and more steady ways to actually, what I would call, often we're preaching to the converted. It's really boring because it just sets people up into camps and they're feuding and fighting. So what are you doing about bringing people closer and hearing and chatting and exchanging views and coming up with something else, you know?
Can you please join me in thanking our wonderful panellists? And also, if you can just also join me in thanking Adrian and Mariella, who have put together Big Sculpture, which is a wonderful initiative. So, thank you.
That's it for today's show. If you'd like to let us know about any live event coming up within the next month within the Melbourne CBD, just shoot us an email at info@artv.com.au. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.